Hello everyone, I am Anjali Jain, your accountancy teacher. Today I will start the first chapter of accountancy class 12 and the name of the chapter is Accounting for Not-for-Profit Organization. Before starting a new chapter, let us remember what we have studied in the 11th standard. Since you have not given your exam, but I know you had started preparing for it. So let us talk about it first. In your first year of accountancy, you studied sole tradership, means एक अकेला आदमी running a business and earning profit, doing his accounts, doing journal, ledger, trial balance, and then making a trading account, profit and loss account, and then balance sheet. If you remember everything, great. This year we will learn something else. In our first chapter, we have not for profit organization. We will talk about all those NGOs that don't work for profit and how do they maintain their accounts. Then we will talk about partnership accounts, and then after that we will talk about company form of organization. So how do companies maintain their accounts? Okay, we will come to the first chapter today. Let us begin. These are organizations which render valuable services to the society and do not engage in trading, that is buying and selling activities for earning profits. They do not buy and sell goods. They only serve the society. Examples are also given in the second point: clubs, trusts, schools, hospitals, religious institutions, sports, cultures, etc. In the third point, they have mentioned NGOs, non-government organization. These are also called non-trading organizations. Here, these types of organization, they never buy and sell goods to earn profit. Instead, they make a group and they work with donations. Now, there are rich people in the society who donates to such NGOs, and from that money, they provide services to the society to those people who are in need of such activities. For example, there is a poor section of people in the society who cannot afford to go to school. So, such NGOs will help to run such schools with the help of the donation of the rich ones. The word voluntary means you do it out of your own wish instead of somebody else pushing you into that work. You do it because you want to do it for the sake of the society. You want to serve the society. That is voluntary. Service motive is the opposite of profit motive. Business work to earn profit. NGOs work to serve the society. The motive, the aim are really different from each other. Services are offered to people free of cost or at a nominal cost. Free of cost matlab when you give some service to anyone, for example you're running the school, you either run it for free, you don't take money from your clients, and a nominal cost means a very small amount. For example, you're gifting a land to someone which is worth 10 lakh, but for the sake of paperwork you are taking rupee 1 from them, which is a nominal cost of the land. So nominal cost is very small amount, almost negligible. So we will talk about the fourth point. How do they get money? When they are doing free of cost service, they get money. The sources of funds are donations, as I said in the previous slide. They can be donation, that the subscription of members. When members join such group, they subscribe to it and they give from the members, the group members, they collect money. Income from investment. Suppose I have money in my bank, I get interest from it. So that is the income from my investment in the bank. Okay, every investment that we make, we get some income from it. That income they put in the organization. And in the fourth point, who are the managing team? Suppose in your class there are 12 people. You elect and decide. Suppose you vote for the best candidate who is supposed to be the class leader. Same way they vote for a managing team or an executive committee. This is the most important slide, accounting system. This is what I was talking in the beginning. How do they maintain their accounts? They don't follow the basic rule of business, which is journal, ledger and all that. They follow this accrual system of accounting where they make two accounts, receipt and payment account and then income and expenditure account. After that they make the balance sheet. So in the next slide I will show you how does a receipt and payment account looks like, so that while doing questions it will help you. you can make a note of it, or you can find it in your books. You can pause the video and write whatever is important for you. Meanwhile, I'll tell you what are the items in the receipt and payment account. This is a pro forma of receipt and payment account. There are two sides, receipt side and payment side. Under receipt side, you have everything where from which you get cash. In the payment side, you have everything where you pay money. If you remember cash book, you used to follow the same concept. Debit side, you get receipts. Credit side, you get payment. I'll show you one or two items. For example, under the capital receipt, you have sale of office furniture. When you sell a furniture, you get money. So it comes under receipt side. Now under payment side, you have, for example, under revenue payments, you see buy salaries, buy wages, and then buy repairs, buy audit fees, whatever they are. You are making payment for such items. When you give salary, you pay money. So when you pay, it comes under the payment side. As simple as that. So even if you don't memorize each and every item, you can bifurcate. That this item you get money, or in this item you give money, it comes under receipt, or it comes under payment. That's it. By the time I'll create my next video, we will start the problems of receipt and payment. Once we are done with the problems, we will start income and expenditure account. This is it for today. Thank you.